So I want to talk a little bit about fibromyalgia. Um, One, it's extremely hard to diagnose, and even when you are diagnosed, it hits with this low self-confidence, and it carries so much emotional weight with the diagnoses, or whatever you want to call it, but it's just so weird. Fibromyalgia is so inconsistent and so weird. This past week, one, you're constant, if you have fibromyalgia, you're in either a constant state of pain, or there are several symptoms that are constant, and then the other ones that come into existence when you have flare-ups take over the entire body: mental, physical, digestion, respiratory. It takes over everything, hence why it's an autoimmune disorder. So it's really important to stay aware of how your fibromyalgia is affected, and try to see a consistency if you can. And I haven't really been able to see much, but the pattern of fibromyalgia that I've been able to see is my body will carry heavy depression, but my mind and my mental state won't. So sometimes when I hop on here, you can see in my eyes, right now I'm fine, but you could see in my eyes that I feel and look like so tired, almost like I'm dead. Like, girl, get some sleep. But I do sleep. I sleep well. And I'm so sensitive that just a normal conversation drains me as if I worked 40 hours. Like 40 hours of body work. It's incredible how drained I can get from something so simple. So that's one thing that I constantly carry. And then another thing is I am in constant state of pain with my bones, like my vertebrae and my pressure points. My senses are sensitive, so like my sense of smell, my sense of touch is fine. Something that you would think normally is uncomfortable, I could see as very painful. Not all the time, but for the most part. Anyways, so about a week ago, I was extremely tired for maybe 4 days straight. I had no idea why. And I started feeling inflammation in random parts of my body, and as the day would go on, the inflammation would get so powerful that I couldn't even move. Like, it started in my hand, I couldn't even move my hand. And then it would go to my neck, and I wouldn't be able to move my neck. And then my hyoid has been extremely inflamed for the past couple of days. And it's spread a little bit down here. It's so inflamed and sensitive to the touch, but it's not my lymph nodes. And then it went to my pelvis. My entire pelvis feels brittle, like I feel like I have arthritis. And then all this widespread pain feels like my body has given up, and it's so heavy and so depressed. But it's weird because I don't feel depressed, or I didn't. And then yesterday, that pain went to my ankles, my shoulders, and my chest was extremely heavy. Like, it felt like someone was sitting on my chest and my actual bones felt brittle, like it was collapsing in on itself. And I started to emotionally feel this weird, it was just, depression is so weird for me because I don't feel like I'm depressed, but I'm acting like I'm depressed, and my body is telling me that I'm depressed, but I'm resisting what's happening to me. Anyways, my entire body felt like it was attacking itself, and I was tired, and I'm a very productive person, and so staying in bed rest or staying in the house or keeping myself from getting up and doing stuff is emotional in and of itself. But I just want to bring awareness to fibromyalgia because it is so hard with your body taking over, your emotions taking over, being hypersensitive to everything. And I'll tell you that if I look back, I can see what triggers it, and everyone is different. But for me, fibromyalgia starts whether you get really sick and you have trauma or PTSD from that specific illness, and so it's triggered by symptoms of that illness. Or if you ever had surgery, it could be an onset or a PTSD illness from having surgery, or it comes from trauma, specific traumatic events, and it's almost like you get this wind up of energy before you go into a similar traumatic event, whether it's a person or an event specifically. So you get these symptoms, this hyperactivity, this hypersensitivity before any type of experience is made. And then once the experience is made, your body goes through its own cycles of attacking itself, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it is, all of them. And then as the days go on, if you're not cognizant or just diligent over what is happening, it gets worse and worse and worse. So a lot of people with fibromyalgia will be put on medication for antidepressants, which I'm against just because I'm in denial, because I don't think that I have that. Or maybe I just don't. But it's like a body depression, not a mind depression. It's so weird. It's so weird. I haven't heard many people talk about that. But what I'm happy about, what I'm excited about, is I just discovered this amazing wellness studio a mile down from my house. It's called Vitality Wellness, and they are a ketamine infusion therapy clinic. And I'm a huge psilocybin, psychedelic, and I know that's not it's psychoactive, advocate, because I think that if we use it properly, it can really help. So I reached out to, I think his name is Dr. Jason, I forgot his last name, but he's a doctor there at that Vitality Wellness, and I have 6 ketamine infusions scheduled over the next 3 weeks, and my plan is to hop on here after each of those infusions and tell you what it's like, and try my best to be an advocate for its benefits. Apparently it helps people with neuropathy issues, PTSD, chronic pain disorders. So I will be hopping on here just to share my experience, and hopefully, it brings more awareness to people who have fibromyalgia, autoimmune disorders, or CPTSD, PTSD, so that you can go to this space and they can get highlighted, because I want to support them for supporting me, and I'm super excited. But there's so much more about fibromyalgia and how it's been affecting me, but it basically makes you just collapse, fall in the bed, and you can't get up. You don't have the emotional fortitude to talk to anyone. You don't have the energy to walk a dog. It's depressing just because it's debilitating. So yeah, I just want to bring awareness to that. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. If you listen to all of this, thank you for even listening. Have a good day.